Hi everyone, Rob here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life, when to retire. It's not just about money, it's a major life choice that affects your health, your happiness, and your sense of purpose. For many, it might seem there isn't a perfect retirement age, but research provides valuable insights into when people are the happiest about making the time to retire. So in today's video, we'll look at when might be the ideal time to retire, and how you can set yourself up to make the most of it. We'll explore the key factors that influence retirement timing, from financial readiness and superannuation balances to health and lifestyle goals. Plus, I'll share what the latest studies and real-world stories reveal about retirement satisfaction. Whether you're dreaming of an early escape or planning to work a little longer, by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer idea of what the sweet spot might look like for you, and how to approach this life-changing decision with confidence. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the average retirement age in Australia is 56.9 years, while the average age people intend to retire is 65.4. The latest figures show around 130,000 people retired in 2022, with an average age of 64.8 years. Roughly half of Aussies retire when they planned, but just like in other parts of the world, many find themselves retiring earlier or later than expected, and often it's not by choice. Here's something you might not expect. More than 40% of Australians end up retiring earlier than they intended. But before you picture all those people living it up at the beach, it turns out only 33.2% of people retiring earlier than intended had the financial means to do so. 46.6% of male retirees rely on the age pension as their main source of income in retirement. Around a third retire because of health issues, either their own or their partners. Another 5% of retirees were retrenched or dismissed, or their jobs were restructured out of existence. It can be really hard to get back into the workforce after 60. Some retire to take care of others, maybe aging parents or even grandkids. If you're one of the lucky few who've planned and saved well, retiring early can be a dream. But for most early retirees, the choice is forced upon them, and that creates a whole set of challenges both financially and emotionally. When retirement sneaks up on you, there's often a lot of stress involved. Suddenly, you're relying on your superannuation, the government age pension, or maybe some savings you hadn't planned to touch for years. You might have planned to work till 67, but health or redundancy means you're done at 60. That 7-year gap can be tough to fill financially, especially if you still have a mortgage or you're not yet eligible for the age pension. That's why building a strong financial foundation as early as possible is key. Even if you're aiming to work later, sometimes life doesn't play ball. According to another research report by McCrindle, the number one regret of most retirees is not saving enough before retirement, and over 53% of Australians regret not prioritising their financial health, leading to insufficient savings for a comfortable retirement. On the flip side, about 10% of Australians actually work longer than they planned. Maybe their super balance isn't quite where it needs to be, or they just aren't ready to walk away from working life yet. Some find themselves working part-time or in bridge jobs to make ends meet or maintain a sense of purpose. Retiring before you can tap into super without tax penalties, or before you're eligible for the age pension, means you'll need enough personal savings or other investments to bridge the gap. If you haven't saved enough in your super fund by your early 60s, you might face some tough decisions. Some retirees opt to access super as soon as possible, but if you dip into it too early, you risk running out of money later in life. In fact, about a quarter of early retirees in Australia say they regret having to access their super earlier than intended. And when it comes to the age pension, you can't claim before 67 right now. So, timing your retirement is critical. Retire too early and you might fall into a financial gap. Money isn't the whole story though. Some early retirees in Australia say leaving work left them feeling lost, lonely, or lacking purpose. Work provides structure, a reason to get up in the morning, and often a social circle too. That's why it's crucial to plan not just for your finances, but for your lifestyle. Think about what you'll do every day, who you'll spend your time with, and what goals or hobbies will keep you motivated. On the other hand, Aussies who work longer than planned aren't immune from regrets either. Nearly half of those who retire later say they wish they'd gone 4 years earlier. Why? Many realise too late that they've sacrificed some of their healthiest years to keep earning a paycheck, and wish they'd had more time for travel, grandkids, or just enjoying life while still fit and active. Here's the good news. A large majority of Australians are happy once they're retired. Surveys show nearly 69% of retirees are generally satisfied according to the Challenger Retirement Happiness Index compared to 66% of pre-retirees. Those over 70 report the highest levels of contentment, especially if they have enough financial security and good health. Like everywhere, financial comfort is closely tied to happiness in retirement. Around 3/4 of retirees feel they have enough to live well. But that stat takes a hit among those still carrying debt or relying only on the age pension. If you're in consumer debt or depend solely on the government pension, you're much more likely to feel financial pressure and struggle to make ends meet. There's no one magical age that fits everyone, but the sweet spot for most Australians seems to be between 65 and 67. Why? 65 is when you access your superannuation and the age pension eligibility starts at 67. By then, you've also maximised your years of super contributions and investment growth. Retiring in this window means you're less likely to face financial gaps and more likely to have built up enough super to support a comfortable lifestyle. Many retirees who accessed their super from age 60 through retirement or starting a transition to retirement pension regretted doing so as it left a large gap, up to 7 years before being eligible for the age pension. Personally, I think there's more risk to waiting too long if you don't really want to be working. If you're only dragging yourself into a job yearning for freedom, that's time you can't get back. But retiring too early, before you're financially ready, can mean decades of financial strain and stress. If you have your finances in order, retiring early really means opting for freedom, not just quitting work. So, how do you get to retirement on your own term with as few regrets as possible? Get started with super early. Even modest regular contributions from your 20s or 30s make a big difference over time. Adopt the timeless lesson learned by the richest man in Babylon by saving 10% of your income before you pay anyone else. Make extra contributions, salary sacrifice, after-tax top-ups whenever you can. Minimize and clear high-interest debt before you retire, especially credit cards and personal loans. Figure out your ideal retirement lifestyle, then try living on a budget based on your expected post-retirement income. If it feels tough, tweak your savings, plans, or expectations. Carefully time when you access your super and apply for the age pension, so you don't leave yourself financially vulnerable. Don't forget non-financial planning. Build hobbies, join clubs or volunteer, and make sure you have a strong social network. I'm a big fan of setting yourself up so you can retire as early as you want, but that doesn't mean you have to stop working if you love your job. The real goal is financial and personal freedom, the ability to step away from work when it feels right for you. For most Aussies, the just right age is somewhere between 65 and 67, making the most of super government benefits and good health. But really, the best age is the one that lets you retire on your terms, with enough financial comfort and meaningful ways to spend your time. So where's your retirement sweet spot? Are you on track to hit it? Let me know in the comments. If this helped you, give it a like and consider subscribing and sharing with anyone you think it might help. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.